Friday, we're going to call this regular meeting of the Worcester County Commissioners Court to order. Today's date is Monday, December 22nd, 2025 at 9 o'clock a.m. Before we begin, we're going to have our prayer by Elder Brown, and then we'll have our pledge. Oh, before we begin, I'm sorry. For the record, we do have a quorum. We do have one commissioner out. Commissioners here.
Gracious Father, we thank you so much for this day, for your watch care over us, and for bringing each one of us here safely. We ask that your Holy Spirit will be with us as we continue with this court today, that your will be done in all things. Guide and direct in each and every one of us in our daily lives. We pray in your name. Amen.
The pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Again, item number 3 for public comment.
It's with an item, he said.
What item is it? Do you want to wait till this?
I'll just let you know. Justin Murray with Kleinfelder, and we assisted Guadalupe County with the application for flood insurance funds. Taking that under item 9. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay. But do you want to comment on it tonight?
I sure can. If y'all have questions, I'm here to help answer.
Okay. So your name again?
Justin Murray.
Murray? No problem. Agenda item number 4, certificates of completion awards and bond continuations. Criminal Justice Information Services, Security and Privacy, General Role, Jennifer Fleming. We have Attorney Opportunities Program, Acknowledgement of Attorney, Gail Ritchie, Genevieve Martinez, and bond continuation, Olga Madero, Elections Administrator, Wanda Genevieve Reed, Chief Clerk, K21. Agenda item number 5, we have Ray Adetta, our Veteran Service Officer, discussion only 2025-26 report of strategic planning review.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Here for the strategic planning review, first quarter 2025-2026. Just start while they're pulling that up. I know you have it in front of you in your iPads. We did change our mission statement to be more exact of the services that we are providing. So our mission, our community-based initiative bridges the gap by providing access to veteran health care, VA education benefits, VA disability, pension services, burial benefits, and local resources and referrals, and general financial assistance. Our supportive programs assist veterans, active duty service members, and eligible dependents, helping to stabilize their quality of life and financial well-being for serving our country. Next slide, please. So I'll just go with currently in fiscal year 24-25, we still have 166 files still open, and 382 of those have been closed. Again, these are, I guess, open files that are going to be coming on through this next coming year, and we'll be documenting, I guess, the outcomes of the services that we provide. That's just looking at keep for previous years as it comes into this and affects this current fiscal year. Constituents assisted by precinct, we have 119 as a whole. As you can see, Commissioners, in your iPads, you'll see that Precinct 2 and Precinct 3 are head-to-head in regards to the clientele. And this is something I see consistent. I do believe that Livonia has more veterans in their area. And I'm going to be putting some things into order where we can show that to the data. But for the past 2 years, Livonia and Floresville have been neck to neck. Maybe providing more services in Livonia will show that data in Livonia of more veterans. Numbers of forms and claims by precinct. Again, precinct 2 and 3 are going to be the front runners, and 1 and 4 are almost the same as well. 154 forms, 473 claims filed in this first quarter. And then to the next slide, I was hoping that we could have it up by then.
Right, it's not.
No worries. So on the slide in front of you, you have a veteran death by suicide at VA Audie Murphy Hospital. I wanted to highlight this today for different reasons. Mr. Enrique Ramos Jr. passed away December 4th of 2025, and he died by death by suicide on the VA parking lot. The VA didn't hear about this. It made news. It made national news. There was a lot of organizations, veteran organizations and supported ones that got together and kind of just talked about mental health and the importance of it. In that presentation that they had, you saw a lot of controversial statements that were made where people were asking the questions, who's to blame? Is it the VA? Is it the organizations that are there that are not there for the veteran? You can fall on either side. You can blame the VA or you can blame the lack of services surrounding the VA and supporting them. I think one thing is clear, though, is that more hands make light work. And when we provide services, I look at statement, and making light work. And we are able to work. But if you're interested, Tuesday, December 23rd, they'll have funeral services for Mr. Ricky Ramos. Next slide, we have the new and returning clients for this fiscal year. So currently we have 119, and they're all new. No returning ones as of yet. 18 have already been closed, and 101 are still pending. The number of constituents by contacts that have resulted in action have been 98. To the right of that, you'll see interactions from VetPro, which is our case management system. We have 391 calls, 205 emails, in person 245, 2 faxes, and 95 as labeled and specified, but that's more file reviews when the veteran's not in the office, with a total of 940 for this current first quarter of this fiscal year. Next one, we have a Wilson County Got Your Six financial assistance grant. We have a total of 278 contacts, and this is just the grant alone. 223 are new clients, 118 appointments, 34 clients have been approved and used the grant funds. 10 unduplicated applicants have been approved for payments in January. So we already have more people already approved that will be rolling out disbursements for the month of January. And we're not even there yet. So September 1st, we had 629 grant funds was allocated. October, about 8,000. November, 7,000. December, 8,000. Again, I'm just rounding these numbers. Currently, with a total of $25,013.05 have been allocated out of the $232,000 for this grant. Next slide, we have the Veterans Coalition of Wilson County Community Impact Involvement. In this slide, you'll see I have a couple of pictures on there. The Wilson County Veterans Coalition is made up of different organizations within Wilson County, nonprofits, businesses, and this is just a collaboration group that get together and see how we can impact the community as the coalition as a whole. The first picture you'll see there is probably one of the biggest veteran events that happens. It's the Rackler event. The coalition was able to raise $2,500 to pay for the transportation services of veterans in nursing homes, which is pretty great opportunity for us to just collaborate with other organizations in the community and get those veterans that are in nursing homes that may not see a lot of support. Some might say are forgotten to events like this. On the bottom right, you'll see the coalition was able to support the Floresville JROTC with $2,000, and this was for uniform items. They were wanting to fix the obstacle course, so we're hoping that these funds can support their efforts in those regards. In the middle, you'll see, or should I say, we were able to raise these funds through events. In the middle, you'll see the Veterans Calendar. Currently, we have a 2026 Vets with Vets, Veterans with Corvettes calendar. This is just one of the programs that we had for fundraising. We currently still have some for sale. They can be purchased through the nonprofit. They're off of, you can be purchased off of C Street at the Wilson County News. Slow Ride Coffee also has them available. We cannot take payment at my office, obviously, but once confirmed payment, you can pick up a calendar at our office. Again, just for fundraising, just like I highlighted what we're able to do with those fundraising funds. On the bottom, you'll see the comedy show. Again, we were able to support these efforts in the veteran community through fundraising. On the bottom left, we had a veterans comedy show that just passed. We had 3 different veteran comedians. We had your purchase of the ticket had a dinner plate. We had an open bar, and we had an entrance to see the 3 comedians, which we were able to raise those funds again to support the Rackler event and the JROTC in Floresville. To the right, the coalition recently just was able to contribute to Wilson County foster children. Really, it was with CAST here locally in Floresville. We were able to gather presents and drop them off at the beginning of December. We wanted to make sure they had enough presents before we got to Christmas if needed. So that's just one. Again, the coalition has been in effect for 2 years, coming up on our 3rd year. It's just an awesome way to collaborate as a community of veterans. Next slide. We have the return on investment, 2025, 2026. Currently, we have $305,000 and $305,091. So we've exceeded the department budget by 130%. Our target goal for 2025-26 is $2 million. Currently, we've got 15% of that goal. Year to date, since 2023, we have secured $6,960,871.84. Goals, challenges, and vision. Currently, our emphasis on the Wilco GY6 grant, which we just reapplied for the 2026 term. We will hear, I believe, in May if we were approved for this grant, and then we'll move forward if we are continue to keep it. Implement ongoing training and procedures to better case manage. Again, this is just something that's ongoing that we're constantly looking at, especially with the grant now in effect. Partnering with City of Livonia Police to establish a service office in 2026. So again, trying to gather data if Livonia has more veterans than Floresville area. So I plan to start going out to the Livonia Police Department and and they have an office for me. And I'll be there maybe on the weekly, starting in January, then maybe looking at twice a week. Again, this is going to allow me to gather data and to show if Livonia, in fact, does or does not have more veterans. And hopefully we can do this for a two-year trial and see the numbers from there. And I'll be reporting those as I'm gathering. Branding and marketing of the Veterans Department, again, something ongoing to include our now visits to Livonia and help with that. Challenges. Canceled and rescheduled appointments. In this first quarter, we've had 49, which is probably the highest we've ever had for the past 2 years. It typically is higher within this time frame just because of the holidays. So 49 goes canceled and rescheduled on the constituent behalf. Another challenge is late fees for mortgage and rent payments from the Wilco grant. This is the first time we have this TVC grant. We're learning the ins and outs of it, although we manage other grants, and we have a great partnership with the auditor's office and the treasurer's office. I just want to give them kudos to them because there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that's happening, and our office is really just the face of it. But I just want to say thank you to those departments for that support. And we're just constantly changing. We're trying to learn how and the best ways to provide this grant for our community members. So our vision, self-sustaining, streamlined Veterans Department, adequate department to serve our veteran population, and the department's ability to offer more and timely, accessible resources. That concludes my presentation.
Great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Will we have to get a memorandum of understanding between Livonia and the court?
Yes, once we get to that point, we're not there yet. Is 14 in there? Building?
Yeah, I'm not there yet. It's something I just went to do a site visit to check it out to see if it's something that I would need for the veterans. I didn't want to be tucked in the corner or anything, but it's right in the front. There's privacy. They'll have their own room. So I just went last week to check it out, and it looks good. The next move is to get a MOU with that. So I can present that before it happens.
Thank you. Move to agenda item number 6. Agenda for Reno County Auditor to discuss take action on accepting an award from the Texas General Land Office in the amount of $1,287,400 for the purpose of public facilities improvement emergency evacuation center located in Wilson County, Appalachia, 435 PX 9744.
Yes, good morning. Finally, this day has come. If you, I will just kind of refresh your memory. Back in January, actually January 23rd of 2023, the court approved and accepted acknowledgement and acceptance of funds from ACOG. They were distributed to ACOG by the state of Texas through the General Land Office. There was $4.3 billion that was allocated to the state in a community development block grant, and that was for mitigation funding through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And of that amount, almost $30 million of that was allocated to ACOG, and then ACOG then set out allocations for the different counties in their location, and we accepted $1.287 million. And so that was back in January of 23. And then if you remember, I came back to the court and requested that we submit the application, because although the money basically was ours for the taking, it was a non-competitive grant, meaning the money was already allocated to us, but we still had to go through the application process. And what that included was we had to provide all of the statistical data to the Texas General Land Office in order for them to release the money. So that's been going on for the past 2 years. We've had extensive meetings with the General Land Office, myself and Kayla Prado in my office, Judge Whitman as well. We've had the general land office come and meet with me to make sure that all of the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. And so we went through the entire process for the shelter of last resort, which is basically an extension of the front part of the current expo center, so what we know as the banquet hall, and it's to expand it on one side 15 feet and go back 50 feet, and then install bathrooms, showers, and upgrades to the kitchen area to be able to provide services in the event that we have a disaster here in the county, and we can provide shelter for any evacuees. So anyway, we finally got the notice of award last week, and I was so happy because it has been a lengthy 2.5 years to get to this point for money that was already allocated to us, and even though it was non-competitive, we still had to go through the process. And so that's what I requested to put on the agenda, along with a copy of the agreement from the Texas General Land Office. Yes, I did submit it to our county attorney's office for review, as well before presenting it to court.
It did make it in our package.
I have a copy of it if you want to see it. It's 75 pages.
I'd like to see it when we approve it.
Well, it's not any different from what you've already approved. This is just the official acceptance of the
I'd still
award.
like to see it because it's been 2 years.
Oh, I see. Well, here it goes.
Let's take some time.
And I'll also remind the court, if you remember, we had to have public input as well. So we also submitted this to the Wilson County News. We had a public information session where the public was invited to come and hear the details of the shelter of last resort. And we got some, we had some people that attended as well. I believe that was either here or at the showground. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. We've been getting a lot of good feedback for it. So. And the General Land Office is also aware that this is a multi-use building, so it will not only be used for an evacuation, they are aware that this will then in turn provide additional revenue for the county by being able to utilize it for the banquet hall. So it will be an expansion, provide another resource for the county as well. This was also the $1.28 million from the very beginning because we didn't know it wasn't enough to split, if you remember, for road projects. So we had to figure out what we were going to do with it rather than just returning the money and saying we didn't want it. And we found out that the funds could not be used to purchase equipment. We had to detail basically how this project was going to mitigate loss of life or risk of life. So we did all of that, and we were able to show how this $1.3 million was going to benefit everyone equally in the county by providing this shelter or evacuation center for all areas of the county as well. We also got our emergency management office involved with it. They did a great job of providing mapping. We had to provide maps to the General Land Office to show the different evacuation patterns and how people would go in and out. So it was definitely a lot of work for money that was already ours, but we had to, before before the general land office releases the funds, they just wanted to make sure that the project was sufficient enough, and we passed the test, so that's good. Now, this is a reimbursement grant, so there is no matching to it as of right now, and so we are required to go through the proper procurement processes. So I will be following the CFR 200 in obtaining. Because it's an expansion, it's not going to be a full-blown general contractor for a new build. This is just renovations, but we will still follow the proper procurement process and make sure that it gets advertised and have the selection just as we normally do through our bid process to do that. So basically what I'm asking the court today is just to approve the acceptance of the money for the project that you've already approved to.
Once accepted, what is our timeline on January? January.
Oh, it's not on the bottom. I don't know.
Okay.
No. I don't think so. Oh, there. What is going on? There we go. Maybe. We'll see if it stays on. Yeah, turn off again.
But, notice this is signed. Are we authorizing the judge to sign this today?
To accept the grant. We have to accept the award and send it back to GLO so that we can start the award.
So that's what this is for.
Yeah, there's a DocuSign there that I pulled it up.
Could you send me a copy of that, please?
All right, Mr. Miller, can you vote on agenda item?
Make a motion. Make a motion that we accept the grant from the Texas General Land Office in the amount of $7,400 for the purpose of public facilities improvement at the Wilson County Expo Center.
Motion made by Commissioner Aiken, second by Commissioner King. Do you have any other questions regarding agenda item number 6? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. We'll move to agenda item number 7. Brandon Pavina, County Auditor, to discuss take action on Wilson County migrated from Citibank State Contract 946M2 to U.S. Bank 946M4 for the purpose of county issued credit cards.
Yeah, so, the, state of Texas through the state comptroller's office, I don't think this
That's why we're buying a new one. Can't win.
the state of Texas through the state comptroller's office was in a state awarded contract with Citibank, which are our county purchasing cards. That Citibank contract 946-M2 has since expired, and the credit cards will remain active until, but no later than February 28, 2026. The comptroller notified us that they have awarded the new state contract to U.S. Bank. Citibank will not open any other new accounts or issue new cards. So if any cards have expired or are coming due to expire, they will not issue any new cards under that contract. State of Texas customers holding a commercial charge card service contract with Citibank must transition to U.S. Bank by December 31st, 2025, and that's directly from the state comptroller's office. Kristen in my office has attended the training on what that process looks like. I provided you a copy of U.S. Bank's contract with the state of Texas. It's contract number 946-MR, Charge Cards Commercial Card Services. And so I wanted to bring this to the court for approval because there is an application that needs to be signed and all of the documentation that my office needs to provide so that we can roll out the new card system. Now, any county in the state of Texas is not 100% obligated to go with the state-approved vendor. But if we do not go with a state-approved vendor through the state comptroller's office, then we have to go out for, basically for procurement for bid to look at other commercial card services if we opted to do that. I will tell you that I would be confident in saying that most, especially most counties utilize Citibank now and are all going through the same process. So that's what I'm here for, so that we can not have any delay in insurance. By then, no one will have access to their county travel MP cards.
What kind of cards? Are we just going to regular person cards?
Yes, they are. It would act as the same ones that you have now. Some of the benefits with U.S. Bank, though, it would cover like your travel, everything that you currently use now. They would, I believe there was a rebate program, which I thought was interesting, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll have to go back and look at the actual details, but I believe there was a rebate program where we would get a certain percentage, I believe it's annually back based on purchases made, so that is something that we currently don't have. So there is an intake form where I have to provide all of our information, but I did provide you all of the details on the on U.S. Bank as well, and you should have it there. And Commissioner Akins mentioned the ability now, if there is any suspected fraud, use of the card. Citibank now is really good about stopping the card or calling. So I would imagine that U.S. Bank would follow the same thing, especially to be awarded by the state as a statewide contract. So.
Commissioner Bell, entertain a motion on agenda item number 7.
I'll make a motion. Wilson County Applied Grading from Citibank, state contract 946-M2 to US Bank 946-M4 for the purpose of county issuing credit cards. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Cardona.
Close.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
You're right. Close, you keep saying?
Well, you said sure over.
I'm sorry. All right, motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Hayden. You stay on top of things. I appreciate that. Is there any discussion on the agenda item number 7? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Miss Commissioner. Agenda item number 8, Christina Moose, County Chair, to discuss take action on the approval of Wilson County's 457B deferred compensation contract with Nationwide. Ms. Moose.
Good morning. You should have in your packet the contract that we have with Nationwide. We do have, of course, employees on there. They're just updating their template, I guess you could call it. So nothing has changed within the plan. The reason why we're doing this is because the update, the last time we signed it was 2013. So it's not something they do every year. But they are updating everything. This was sent to the county attorney's office for review. Everything, like I said, is the exact same. Just the look has changed.
Ms. Moose, we've always had this 457 benefit.
Before my time yet, dating back to even 2013. Since then. But again, no changes were made, just the look on their end, so I think their end.
Just curious, because I know it's different. I have a 457. It's much different than 401, but we have very good suspicion in this 457.
We do have an employee on this right now. We haven't had anybody pick any more right now, pick up usage on this, but we always do try to get them to do this.
Still the program where they can go out 55? When is it?
That is a good question. I don't know the details. I can look into it and find out for sure.
Any questions of this move before I call for the vote? Commissioner? All right, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 8.
I'll make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign the contract for Wilson County's 457B deferred compensation contract.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Martin, second by Commissioner King. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 8? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9. We do have one public comment. Murray, you want to come on up for sure?
Judge, I can talk loud.
It may work and it may not. We're getting this system.
You got it. I adapt and overcome, right? So, thank you for having me here this morning, and thank you for putting this item on your agenda. The reason that me and my counterpart are both here today is really because the item is participation in the Guadalupe County Drainage Master Plan, and it's not lost on me that this is Wilson County. And so you might be wondering, why does Guadalupe County have to notify and obtain a resolution from this body? And so I'm here to answer those questions. As a part of the flood infrastructure grant program that the Water Development Board put together, they required that the county notify any entity that's within the watershed of the study area. And a portion of that study extends into Wilson County and includes the city of Laverne. And it's centered on Cibolo Creek and a couple of minor tributaries after that. With that, I'm here to answer any questions that you may.
Serrano, you want to add anything to that?
No,
Okay. Oh, okay. Any questions this morning?
I mean, is this similar to what we did? Have a special last court?
I have the resolution. You want to read it in full? Okay. A resolution of Wilson County participating in the Guadalupe Master Drainage Plan under the Texas Water Development Board Flood Infrastructure Fund, FIF, Flood Management Evaluation, FME program. Whereas Guadalupe County is preparing an application to the Texas Water Development Board under the Flood Infrastructure Fund, Flood Management Evaluation category for the development of a countywide master drainage plan. And whereas TWDB Rules 31 TAC 361.10 in the fiscal year 2024-2025 FIF intended use plan requires applicants to coordinate with all eligible political subdivisions within the watershed area that allow those entities the opportunity to participate in the planning process. And whereas Wilson County Commissioners Court recognizes that a coordinated countywide drainage and flood mitigation plan is essential for protecting public safety, reducing flood risk, improving infrastructure resilience, and supporting the long-term community planning. And whereas participation in this planning effort does not obligate Wilson County to provide funding, but ensures that its drainage concerns, data, and priorities are incorporated into the county-led evaluation. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the governing body of the Wilson County Commissioners Court that, 1, the Wilson County hereby expresses its support for and formal participation in the Guadalupe County Master Drainage Plan to be funded through TWDB FIF FME program. 2, the judge, permit, and development director is authorized to coordinate with the Guadalupe County and its consultants to provide relevant drainage data and participate in the meetings associated with the development of the Master Drainage Plan. 3, a copy of this resolution shall be provided to Guadalupe County for inclusion in its official project file and TWDB required documentation. Before I say passed, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the resolution of Wilson County participating in Guadalupe County Master Drainage Plan under the Texas Water Development Board Flood Infrastructure Fund program. Guadalupe County Master Drainage funded through the TWDB FIF program. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Hickey. Any other discussion regarding this agenda item? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against nay. I have the motion passed. Passed and approved on this day, 22nd day of December 2025. And item number 10, we have Teresa Nettles, County Attorney, discuss take action on approval of Wilson County Attorney to enter into an MOU with the Children's Alliance of South Texas to work collaboratively to minimize the victimization of children and protect family members as they go through the investigation, assessment, intervention, and prosecution process, and to maintain a cooperative team approach to facilitate successful outcomes in both the criminal and the child protection systems through shared fact-finding and strong collaborative case.
Morning. We are asking the court to approve entering into an MOU with the Children's Alliance of South Texas. This is a continuation of the previous MOU. The Alliance of Texas is a vital organization helping children and victims of domestic violence and abuse, and is to establish a cooperative relationship with this organization in law enforcement, investigation, providing any services that our office is able to and that the county is able to help with that. I believe somebody is here from the Children's Alliance. Yes, they're giving some more brief information. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Christina. I'm attorney
with you guys. I do normally come and petition for help with money or services for children. Healing and justice, that's the two words you kind of get to know. So the healing part is all the free services we provide for the kids, right? Free therapy, medical examinations, advocacy work. The justice component is the MOU that we're talking about the county attorney's office. So the other half of my clients is law enforcement and DSPS. We provide the funds and services for them. A lot of it is kind of custody heavy and it's information sharing. So the MOU says I can call the county attorney or the county attorney can call me and we can kind of cut through. I can immediately say the name of a victim and she'll yes, put her in when it comes to protective order or vice versa. Hey, I have this family here right now, Christina. They need services, can I send it to your office? Versus us having to go through like a series of information. Hey, can I say your name to this advocate? Can I say your name to this? It kind of cuts for immediate action, which is kind of critical for immediate safety. The MOU has been in place since 2013. I have it with all county attorneys. This is Ms. Mellon's first time kind of her signature being on it, so she wanted to make sure we protected it correctly.
Mr. Governor, table on agenda item.
I'll make a motion to authorize the county attorney to enter into an MOU with Children's Alliance of South Texas.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. Is there any other discussion regarding agenda item number 10? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you. Thank you. Agenda item number 11, discuss take action on signing of the commercial tenant stop certificate signed at the Wilson County Library in Livonia. This is a requirement that we have to do in order for us to be released. Understanding you're on from that contract, correct?
Yes, it's the last time we discussed that they probably would send a notice to vacate within so much time. This is actually avoiding that so that there's a mutual termination of that contract. And I believe they've given the county until the end of January to vacate. So this is just formalizing rather than to have them just send us a notice. So that's what that document is. We're going to terminate the lease.
We have the story. I'm going to ask her to come up. Let's discuss that a little bit. So that, my understanding is they can't sell property that's being sold without us signing this document. And we already have a plan B, correct? We're just trying to work out your move on the contract portion that we need to get together with the county attorney's office. You want to brief us on that?
I've been in contact with all parties. I am pretty sure that if I work and doing what we need, what the library needs to do to be able to relocate, we can definitely be out of the current building by January 30th. And then they're going to give me one more day to go back into pull stuff off the wall, because we have stickers on the wall, and to probably sweep them off by the 31st, and we'll turn over all if that helps. And then I'm hoping that between now and the next Commissioner's Court, we can get the lease for a new location all handed out.
I think we're good with it. We're the county attorney and I have discussed it with some wording. There's some verbal things that have been sent by your new police person. And we need to have that on paper, not just the words.
Okay.
So we'll get together. We'll get that. Okay. Commissioner, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 11.
I'll make a motion to authorize the judge to execute the commercial tenant stop certificate. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner H. Together again, discussion regarding agenda item number 11. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it. Motion passes. And item number 12, we have Ms. Ruth Sarato, permitting development director. We'll go to 12A 1, permit 551 Coastal WSC Precinct 1, Whisper Note for review and approval.
Yes, good morning. These utility permits have all been issued to their respective commissioners. This one lies in precinct 1, and Commissioner Martin has had time to look over the spaces. This will be trenched. He also sent me back on requirements and change that.
Yeah, that's, you need to correct, it's not Whisper Note, it's County Road 106. Yeah, that's,
It's on my,
on the agenda, it wound up Whisper Note.
Oh.
Whisper Note, yeah. But is that correct? It's on there?
on the actual permit, it's in one of County Road 106.
On your paperwork, it has County Road 106. So then I get the court's hearing, precinct 1, County Road 106.
Yes.
That was,
Permit number's right.
permit.
I'll make a motion to approve permit 851 for Kentucky Water Supply Corporation of Precinct 1, County Road 106.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. Any other discussion regarding agenda item 1281? With the correction of County Road 106 is on the agenda.
Yes.
Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. We move to agenda item 1282, permit 852, Charter Spectrum Precinct 3 shall be review and approve.
These, up to, actually, I don't know if you want to do both at the same time. They're both in precinct 3, and they've both been reviewed by commissioners.
Let me read the second one then. Also, including 1282 and 1283, permit 853, Charter Spectrum Precinct 3, County Road 323. Review and approve. So we'll go with both.
I spoke with Commissioner Pagola this morning, and he is good. So I'll make a motion to accept permit 852 and 853 for Shadow B and County Road 323. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Martin. Any other discussion regarding items 1282 and 3? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. We move to 12B, non-standard class variance of 1, Morning Glory, 1275 Precinct. Here, state is discuss and take action.
Wilson County Development Review Committee, the Vice Chair of State proposes to split a current 2.59 acre tract into two tracts, one of 1.29 and one of 1.30. Both these tracts have utility availability when it comes to electricity and water. They have letters that have provided stating so. And the engineer who took care of this non-standard plat is present here. If you have any questions? Mr. Stephen Lefebvre.
Make sure you have questions of the engineer.
I'm sorry?
Did you say questions for the engineer?
No, for the engineer. Okay.
I've looked at the property, and it's commonplace for these lots to be divided in this manner in Wood Valley. In fact, the president associated is here, he has a letter in here saying that it was okay, so make a motion that we grant the change of the platting at 1275 Morning Glory.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Hayden, seconded by Commissioner King. Any other discussion regarding agenda item 12B1? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay.
Abstain.
The judge will vote in aye. Motion passes. Move to agenda item 12C, subdivision of Steep Hill subdivision unit 1, 2, review and approve final plat, discuss and take action.
This received a favorable recommendation from the review committee as well, contingent on some additions that need to be made on the plat as far as the culvert table. The engineer from Rockaway is present to answer any questions, as well as he has the Mylar. So we want to get the Mylar for you. We need to review the final version of the plat. Corey Taylor.
What did you say?
I'm sorry?
What did you say? That's pretty neat.
53. If I could add real quick, this is all part of a master plan that was submitted by Rackowitz for Enchanted Homes. This is all in the former Lake Valley area. This entire section is so jumbled, the lines are mixed up. So hopefully with this master plan coming in, this whole property has once been platted before, it never went through. So hopefully this, this new subdivision that's coming in, we're going to get some good set lines that will be on record in that whole area. So they're part of a straightening out a mess that happened way before that.
Commissioner Cardova?
Yeah.
No, we want that. All right, Commissioner, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item 12C2.
Make a motion to accept the Steepville subdivision.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Moore. Do you have any other discussion regarding agenda item 12C2? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. 12D, lot subdivision, Hubbard Ranch, Siesta Oaks, lot 100 and 101, replat 1. Discuss and take action on setting a public hearing for a revised plat application.
This is just a formality. It's a replat of the Blue Bonnet Estate. It's proposed to be called Siesta Oaks. We're not reviewing the actual plat today. It's just setting the hearing. Pending the hearing, the plat would be reviewed
Commissioners Court.
Do you have a date that you want to set the hearing? I mean, there's a certain time period. Do you have a date, or what do you want to do?
No, for whatever date the court can do, yeah. I have to have it posted in the newspaper for 3 weeks.
We just need our approval so we can move forward.
Yes.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion, on agenda item D1, to set a public hearing and review by application.
How long has it been in paper?
It was within last week. So if you wanted, the commissioners wanted to place it for the next commissioners court, then it would be available to be on there, if the commissioners wish.
Well, okay, we're going to put that, whoever makes the motion.
I'll make a motion for Siesta Oaks public hearing for January 12th at 10 a.m.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Keen, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Is there any other discussion regarding 12D1?
Do you want to make the motion, because we didn't state to revise the plat application, or do we need to?
County Attorney says no. Okay. We'll move along with the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against nay. Ayes have it, motion passes.
It is. She usually provides me anywhere we can have it in.
I have time to get the,
I'm sorry?
I have more than,
Yeah,
Move to agenda item number 13. We have a fire marshal, Carl Palmer, discuss and take action on update of Wilson County International Fire Code fees.
Commissioners, we sent these to Trent for approval. The last fees that we had documented were from March of this year. We did change some verbiage in there, which is primarily just writing out our vendor that we had prior to taking office, which was Wilson County District Attorney. On top of removing that verbiage to the fire marshal's office, we did decide to kind of lower some of those fees and help with the development. I felt like some of those fees were a little high for our county and not really appropriately priced. I wanted to promote some more growth in the county by lowering those fees and giving more folks an opportunity to have that overhead cost taken care of. Other than that, nothing has changed. We didn't add any permits. We didn't take any permits away. Everything is as it was, minus some logos and verbiage. I think you guys have that first.
So, Carl, what did you specifically do for the fire? What did you lower the cost?
operational permits, vent hood installations, underground power line permits, alternative fire protection systems, box key evaluations, SOS sirens, underground fuel tanks like gas stations, above ground fuel tank storages, similar like what I'm sure some recent yards have. Fuel dispensing facilities, state licensed facilities, that would be our retirement homes and daycares, private daycares. I just felt like, again, some of those costs were a little high for those particular permits and those providers. I just felt like nothing was increased.
So mass gathering was brought.
Yes, that was also the next item on the agenda. It was set at 300. I did lower that down to 200. Again, those mass gatherings are done by nonprofits, and I kind of felt like the prices just weren't appropriate for that.
And they're infrequent.
And they are infrequent, yes. I did issue 3 mass gathering permits this year, or at least since I've been in office, I want to say 3. So.
So I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 13.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to accept the updated permit fees for the Wilson County International Park.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. We have another discussion regarding agenda item 13. Here none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against nay. Ayes have it, motion passed. Agenda item number 14, have our fire marshal again, Carl Bonner, discuss take action on updated mass gathering permit. Apologize, I got ahead of you on that.
No, that's perfectly fine. As the judge mentioned, we did lower that fee amongst the fee schedule. This approval is just to approve the overall mass gathering permit that we have posted on our website to reflect the $100 change in that fee. So we can get that updated and post on the website for folks. And it went from $300 down to $200.
Sure, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 14.
Make a motion that we accept the change in the fee for the mass gathering permits.
Motion made by Commissioner Aiken, seconded by Commissioner King. Any other discussion regarding agenda item 14? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against nay. Ayes have it, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Move to agenda item number 15, County Sheriff, Stewart, Sheriff's Office monthly progress report.
We haven't had a chance to compile it as of this month. We'll have report for you.
Very good. Thank you, Sheriff. Agenda item number 16, we have our county tax assessor collector's monthly report. It's in there for you. Ms. Barnett said she would not be able to make our meeting today, but she did add in her report. If you want to take a few minutes to look at that, and then I'll move on to the next agenda item. All right, we're going to move on to agenda item number 17. We have Christina Lutz, our county treasurer, discuss take action on county treasurer's financial report.
Good morning. In the packet you'll see for the month of November's treasury report. Of course, as always, what's listed is our checking account with the beginning balance, our debits and credits within those accounts for the month of November, leaving the remaining balance. Listed as well as any of our CDs that we have. and followed with our investment. So Texas Pool, Texas class, those two, and then sub-accounts within Texas class, those 4 that we have. And then our outstanding debt is listed with any lease purchases that we have. And then ending with, again, what's titled the Treasurer's Monthly Report, that lists from November 1st to November 30th, each individual fund, any debits or credits that were made during that time, leaving the ending balance of that month within that fund.
Ms. Mix, I got a question on the last page of the funds.
Uh-huh.
On 1,500, the state tip grant, I'm trying to figure out why we would have any money left.
On which one? I didn't hear the funds number.
1,500?
1,500? Let me look into that particular one. I wish I had an answer for you right now. I don't, obviously there's no transactions within that month.
Well, I think that program ended. All that.
Okay.
I can't figure out why we would have any balance because it was a reimbursement type program. So I'm curious to find out what that is, if that's money that's available to us for roads and so which precincts or commission is available to.
I'll definitely look into that and go back and see if there was any transactions or if there was an initial amount that was in there, and I'll look into it for you. Yeah, that's fine. I can send everyone.
Yeah, whatever you figure out, yeah, just let us know.
I'll be happy to.
I consider Leonard in motion up to that.
I'll make a motion to approve sales of member bank.
Second.
Yeah, November 2025 Treasurer's Report. Yep.
Moved by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion? All those against, nay. I have a motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Notified us that she has no report to make to the report today. We move to agenda item number 19, Brandon Trevino, County Auditor, to discuss and take action on county bills.
Since the mic's not working, I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
The total amount is $723,784.54 that have been presented to you. And I will just point out a couple of things. On page 1, you'll notice that the audio equipment invoice is there. It's listed under San Antonio Sound and Lighting, and it is under Department 409, non-departmental, in the amount of $34,415.50. This is the 50% deposit. SASL was gracious enough, and through Jason's hard work, they went back and honored the original price of the $68,000 and some change. So the increase was no longer valid. What did change is, I know you, the court, voted last court to pay the deposit out of last year's budget because you had approved it from last year's budget. I believe there were some questions following court to the county attorney, and she has advised that it's her recommendation that it be paid out of this year's budget. So I have asked my staff to go ahead and Amanda to go ahead and code the deposit, the 50% deposit, to this year's non-departmental budget. So you'll see that there for the amount of $34,415.50. The next item is on page 7 for the Emergency Operations Center, Fund 1605, Department 409. I just wanted to circle back to Mr. Martin's question regarding additional charges besides charges to for construction construction related to Amazon and things of that nature. The court had approved last year for there to be transfers. There was one pending transfer for $200,000 utilizing interest earned, and also a transfer from the Civil Preparedness Fund. Now, neither one of those transfers have been done because I didn't want to transfer more than what's needed. And so I'm waiting on the final invoice from Broadus Construction. We are awaiting the big one for the generator to come through. Once all of those charges have been received and reviewed by the engineer and my office, and then brought to court for approval, then I will know the exact amount that needs to be transferred. And so part of that transfer, the $200,000 for the interest that you approved, was to outfit the Emergency Operations Center for purchases such as filing cabinets, filing things that are being purchased through Amazon. So that's why you see those charges there, because we're going to use up that money before we know how much then we need to transfer from the other two funds, which won't happen until, it'll happen before the end of this fiscal year. So I just wanted to circle back to that. The other thing regarding that.
Hold on before you leave that to mine. So the question really is we can't use ARP money to own those types of things, because that's always funded with ARP money.
That's correct, but it is all being entered into the same fund. So once I do the transfer is going to offset. That's just on paper. The bank account is separate. So when proceeding.
So you're going to give us a full accounting. What was charged to ARP? What was?
Correct. Only the construction is being charged to American Rescue Plan Fund. The other thing I did want to point out also on the invoice that's there, also under the same page 7 under 1605. To Broadus Construction, I sent them an email. That invoice is in there for $68,000 pending approval. I sent them an email last week because we did receive 2 letters, and I copied our county attorney and sent them to Broadus and our county attorney because those 2 vendors were demanding payment. They were subcontractors, and they were payments that were due back to them since May. And since then, we have paid Broadus over $4 million. So my question to Broadus was, why haven't they been paid? And if they could give us a definite timeline of when those payments were going to be made. And I would hold on to their payment until that we get resolution. And so I did receive an email back late on Thursday stating that they are researching and will get back to me. So I just wanted to make court aware of that as well. And then on page 14, Fund 6200, you're going to see a charge there for $544 under the Christmas lights. I just wanted to clarify what that is. If you remember the LED light displays that are in the courthouse lawn, that is a wash, that $544. Those are 3 Christmas light displays that were ordered from community members because we offer it out to our community. Whoever wants to purchase a display, the county pays for it, and then they pay us. So the money has already been deposited with the treasurer to offset the $544. So I just wanted to let you know that as well.
Why do we owe the PL and Carter anything?
I have the invoices here. I can pull the invoice and you can see it. What's the department?
409.
that is the partial billing. It's $1,000 for our fiscal year 2025 audit because we're going to be starting the audit for year ending 9/30/2025.
Would that come into court for approval?
When is what coming to approval?
The auditor's approval.
The audit itself, or what approval are you asking?
Yes. To approve them as auditor for this past fiscal year.
The court already approved them to do that for a 3-year term. You did that 2 years ago. Yes.
Did you send me a copy of that?
You could request it. I believe the county clerk will have a copy of it.
Or, it's in the,
In a minute.
it's online, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's online. If it came through, Commissioner's Court,
It
you got a
is.
copy, then yes.
Yes.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion. Take action on the county.
Make a motion to approve the county bills for $723,784.64.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion regarding this agenda item? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. And item number 19 passes. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Motion made by Commissioner King. Do I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Moore. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, we are adjourned at 10:24 a.m.
You gonna be down there?